Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to give you that shortcut, the fast track to really knowing what's going on globally. We've sifted through, well, a whole stack of reports, news, insights, and the idea is simple.
Yeah.
Pull out the key nuggets, connect those dots maybe in ways you haven't quite seen before.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this. We really have to start in the Middle East. I mean, the situation there is just incredibly tense and demanding attention. You've got these direct Israeli military threats talking about elimination aimed at Ayatollah Khamenei. This is following that Iranian missile strike near a Soroka hospital. And then Minister Israel Katz making that just really shocking comparison of Khamenei to a modern Hitler. That kind of language, it's a serious escalation, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's stark. And what's, really crucial here is seeing the pattern, the feedback loop. That Iranian attack didn't just happen in a vacuum, right?
It came after those reported Israeli strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. So it's not just simple retaliation anymore. It feels like each action prompts an immediate, maybe even bigger response. It's sort of rewriting the old rules of engagement. And then you have these other layers, like reports that former President Trump had apparently vetoed wider action previously, plus the ongoing debate inside the U.S. about getting directly involved.
Yeah.
All while, the airstrikes and tragically the casualties continue on both sides.
So with that backdrop, that kind of instability,
Yeah.
what's the ripple effect? What are we seeing in global markets? Is it just nerves or something deeper?
Well, connecting those dots, the markets are definitely showing deep caution. It really shows how geopolitics is now fundamentally tied into economic decisions, even domestic ones. Take the Bank of England. They just held interest rates steady at 4.25%.
Okay.
And they specifically pointed to geopolitical risks, trade risks as the reason. That's significant. It tells you central banks, well, they can't ignore these global flashpoints anymore. So while, the market is pricing in maybe a 59% chance of a rate cut in August, you see equities cooling off, bonds trading pretty tight. This risk aversion, it's not just talk, it's shaping policy now.
That's a really powerful illustration of interconnectedness. But, while politics is grabbing headlines, there's other stuff going on too, right? Big developments shaping things, maybe a bit quieter. Let's touch on a few of those maybe. Keep things moving.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's broaden out. Aviation, for instance. The Air India crash aftermath is still very much unfolding. You had Tata Zen Chandrasekaran pushing back against claims about the CEO, Campbell Wilson, but importantly, also really stressing transparency, and they've set up this substantial trust fund for the victims. It speaks volumes about, corporate responsibility in a crisis.
Yeah, that trust aspect is huge. Okay, shifting gears completely. Sports, NBA Finals, the OKC Thunder, they're up 3-2 against the Indiana Pacers. Game 6 is tonight. Definitely a nail-biter, high-stakes stuff.
And looking up, literally some amazing news. We're expecting Northern Lights tonight, June 19th, visible across a lot of North America.
Wow, really? Yeah, thanks to a big X1.2 solar flare.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, sure, but also a reminder of the sun's power, impacts communications, grids. And speaking of space, the ESA's solar orbiter just sent back these incredible first images of the sun's south pole, pushing boundaries.
That's fascinating. And staying with science, but maybe broader, the UN, they've declared 2025 the International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. That's a pretty big signal about where future innovation lies, right?
A huge signal.
Yeah.
It puts a global spotlight on something truly transformative. And then culturally, politically, look at Budapest. The Pride March was banned, but the mayor says it's going ahead anyway. Shows that EU solidarity, pushing back against restrictions on rights, it's more than just a local issue.
And of course, today is Juneteenth in the U.S. Markets are closed, a day for reflection on the history of slavery and its ongoing impact. So thinking about all this, the geopolitics, the science, the cultural moments, it does raise a question, I think, for you listening. With everything moving so fast across so many different areas, what's the one area you feel is most critical? Where should we really be keeping our focus moving forward?
That's a great question to leave folks with, because the world, it just keeps turning, doesn't it? And all these pieces, they do connect. Hopefully this deep dive helped you see a few more of those connections. Keep exploring, keep asking questions.